You find Billy?
No. Time for your first fight.
Any helpful hints?
You'll be fighting a Korean, a Taekwondo fighter. He'll be all kicks, no hands. So don't try to outkick him. Stay in close and finish him off with your upper body strength as quick as possible.
Okay, let's do it.
Cage Cable Network event we've all been waiting for, our annual International Tournament of Champions. And for you newcomers to the Cage Cable Network, these fights are held within a locked cage. There are no rules, no weight divisions, and no referee, and the man left standing is the winner. Our first fight tonight is the Korean Taekwondo champion, Monsu Kim, versus the champion from the Isle of Man, James Parker.
Golan-globus, welcome back. You just heard a delightful little number from Cage 2. All original music. I know you're shocked to hear that.
You sure they didn't sample that from somebody else's work?
It might have been. Who knows?
I heard some Riverbend in there.
You heard some Riverbend? Maybe a little Pete Stegman in there?
Dun, dun, dun. That's some Riverbend.
Yeah. If there were some shoelace headbands, I would have known for sure there was some Riverbend influences in here, but just the music alone hasn't got me convinced. I forgot all about Riverbend's music, except the last song at the end there. Murray, here we go. We got a sequel on our hands. This is one of the first and only times we've ever done a movie with a sequel in order. We did Cage about 2 years ago,
That's true.
And now we're doing Cage 2.
This is how we roll.
So we do have to help out here. Everyone should be going onto YouTube, searching Cage, Lou Ferrigno, because that's the easiest way to pull up the original Cage movie, and you should watch that fucking movie.
I think even better. I think we should put our Cage review on YouTube and tell you to go listen to that, and fuck that movie. Give us your downloads.
Yes. But also see the movie, because it's amazing. We need to get people watching this movie. Well, it's going to be even easier pretty soon here because we, of course, here at Merman Productions, we don't have the Midas touch, we have the Blu-ray touch. Another movie we've covered is getting a Blu-ray release.
Yeah, Death Ring.
Death Ring?
Yeah.
I mean,
go figure.
Okay movie, great fucking episode for us. But
great cast.
Amazing cast, the big names. McQueen, Swayze.
Well, I was thinking more Drago and Branscombe, but...
Oh, yeah, and then there's a couple guys named Brago and Dranscombe. I'm already going full dyslexic here. So let's catch...
Getting in the mind of Billy.
I'm getting in the mind of Billy, that's right. Oh, Billy. So in the first movie, we have several reoccurring characters, or two main characters, Billy and Scott, Reb and Lou. And then our main antagonist... Huh?
Lou and Reb.
Yeah, Lou and Reb. And then our main antagonist is back, and I guess it's really just three characters come back from the first movie.
Well, I think, yeah. I enjoy this movie, but it's definitely a step down from the first Cage as far as, like, star power.
Oh, Murray, who's missing in the second movie?
Well, there's a lot. There's Al Leong's missing.
Al Leong is a good guy.
And has lines.
Tiger Joe. Fucking great name.
Branscombe isn't in this.
He's great work. He was a villain. He had his own gang. He was so good. He really fucking worked a scene.
But they were, I mean, God, Ferrigno's like, you got to pay his price. You don't have money left over to get anybody else. So
and,
they had a...
I mean, Lou really tried to bring the acting chops to this one.
I think I said this in our first Cage 1 review. Half the time I had no idea what Lou was saying. I couldn't interpret it. We didn't know. This movie is so fucking rare. We had to go out of our way and buy a bootleg DVD. Some fucker had the nerve to charge $20 for a bootleg. You'll thank us when you pay $20 for the Blu-ray.
Yeah, 20, and it's probably going to be both movies. And
we'll probably be doing the audio commentary.
We've already been in touch with I forget the director's name and the writer's name. He did both of them. Mark Lester did not do these movies. They're too good. There's not enough bisexuality in it either.
There wasn't any.
But they've already been in touch with us. I've been getting so many. It's hard because the emails, they get backed up.
They tell us that we're basically keeping DVDs alive.
We're keeping DVDs alive. We're keeping Blu-rays in the circuit. We're keeping those Laserdiscs nice, hot, fresh,
That's
ready
the next
to read.
Thing. Everyone talks about vinyl. It's Laserdisc.
Well, of course. That's the trend. CDs went out. No one gives a shit about CDs. DVDs and CDs, I'm going to shock you, but they're the same exact size. Now, if you're talking about Laserdiscs, twice as big, hard to put anywhere.
Twice as better.
Heavier, and the equipment to play it, way big. Everyone's into that kind of thing.
You can play it on a turntable. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah. Put the one earmuff in and listen to nothing because you can't play it.
Oh, it's like a hologram. It's like
Star
it plays
Wars. A hologram?
It's like Star Wars.
I haven't done that yet. I didn't want to wreck my
Why do you think
my
we
needle.
talk about Laserdisc so much?
All right. So, I've been getting all the emails. They're piling up. I got one last week. It was in reference to our Class of '84 episode. Big fans of North Carolina Joe, these people. But they sent us an email, and they said, Mr. Theater, we love your podcast. Over here in Luxembourg, where we have a lot of bridges, your butthole warming. Yeah, Luxembourg.
The little country in Europe?
Yeah.
Okay.
We have a lot of bridges over here, and the way you talked and embraced warming buttholes under the bridge was to a T. We're glad that everyone can know of our safe sex, standards over here.
So, wait, are you saying if your butthole is warm, you won't get STDs? What are you talking about?
Murray, I didn't get in. The guy didn't go into the details. I didn't go into the details, but he said, over here in Luxembourg, you are the best podcast. Everyone
the
listens.
Capital of Europe, even though it's a very small nation, a lot of bridges.
A lot of bridges, a lot of buttholes being warmed up, and we got it right. So we're highly respected over there.
You're welcome, Luxembourg.
But yeah,
Luxembourgers.
Amongst those emails, we're getting contacted about doing the commentary on Cage 1 and 2 Blu-ray box
I said
set.
I'll only do it if Reb's involved.
We got to get Reb. We're both going to have our poofy blonde hair, so we're going to see who wears it better, me or Reb. It's going to be me. I think Reb's lost a bit more hair at this point.
No, I think he
probably keeps it tight like he did in the first one.
He's got it like mine right now, last picture I saw him. He's 70-something now, for fuck's sake.
This is true. All right, Murray, we got to get back on track with Cage 2.
Should we give like a little backstory for the people who are too stupid to listen to our Cage 1 episode?
We already did a backstory.
No, we didn't. We don't know why Lou's retarded. We don't. They were in Vietnam together, okay? And Reb was his commanding officer, and they're like evacuating. They're being chased, and Reb is like hanging by like this hand of Lou, holding him from the chopper. Lou gets shot in the head.
Yep. Drops Reb.
Does he drop Reb?
No, actually he doesn't. He manages to hold on, yeah.
So then
the blood that spurts out looks like like you punctured a jukebox.
Well, look, his
box.
scar looks like somebody put a cigar out on his forehead. So he's brain damaged, and Reb, Scott's his character name, feels guilty about it, so he takes care of him for the rest of his life.
I mean,
as we'll learn, Lou is a kept man. He loves it. He's like a little bitch. He like wants someone to take care of him.
Yeah, so in Cage 1, he is full-on 8-year-old Lou Ferrigno and, 8-year-old brain and a 35-year-old bodybuilder.
Once he gets his dick wet, it's like, oh, I'm kind of getting my. He was in the pussy fog, I think is what it was.
Did he get
dude.
his dick wet?
I think he did something with.
Milo?
They had very chaste kisses, but in Lou Ferrigno's world,
okay,
that's like sex.
But in the first movie, he's an 8-year-old. He messes with Reb all the time, and Reb's like, "You gotta stop beating me. You are 100 pounds heavier,
he wants
full
to
of
wrestle
muscle."
with Reb all the time.
Yeah, and watch wrestling.
I think Mark Lester wrote that.
Yeah, and he wants to play the arcade machines. He's a child in the first.
He's got a vanity plate that says Yoshi won on it.
Oh, Jesus, Murray.
And I don't even know what that means. But
then he gets kidnapped in the first movie by the mob.
Yeah,
and the mob. And we see this translate into the second movie as well. He's going to befriend anybody who just takes care of him.
Yes.
And by take care, he means bring him a lettuce sandwich.
He's a whore. He is a whore. We'll learn there's 3 stages of people. We'll learn that later on in the movie.
Yes.
He's the whore.
Oh, yeah, no, we could just spell it out. There's 3 types of people in Billy's world. Whores, scum, and friends. That's it.
And he's full on whore.
Is he an incel? Is that what's going on here? Is that why he calls all women whores? Or
No, he just knows
is
the
it
deal.
is it genderless?
It is genderless. He's a fucking whore.
Okay, there we
Once
go.
people take care of him, he's like, I'll do what you want. You got to take care of me.
So in the first movie, the mob, they take care of him by giving him lettuce sandwiches with some
Iceberg
mustard.
lettuce. though.
Iceberg
The
lettuce.
finest of all lettuces.
And
Crisp.
for whatever reason, Lou Ferrigno decides his character eats his sandwiches by the middle. So he takes a giant
Like a
bite.
corn cob.
Yeah. yes. Oh my God, it's so bizarre.
But I would think a brain damaged man would eat a sandwich like that. So I think he's going method on this
Yeah.
shit.
And so at the end of the movie, as we alluded to at the end of last week's episode, he gets bonked on the head and Looney Tunes logic takes over, and suddenly he sees clearly and can talk normal and acts normal.
I don't remember that at all. I think you just thought that happened. I don't remember that happening at all.
What's that?
That he became normal once he got hit on the head.
No. Okay, we can't do this now, but we can review the tape.
Okay,
but
this will be the
happens.
third week in a row I'm going to be right, because I was right last week and the week before about something that he was so adamant that I was wrong.
We were both right about one thing from the Under Siege episode.
We're always both right, people. That's Griff's way of saying I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so in Griff's world, he's normal again. Well, he goes back and forth through this movie, Cage 2, like all the time.
Yes, in this movie, it starts out and he is like, in the opening scene, he's a child again. I want the blue stuff. Right out of a Sunny D commercial. And then
Purple
minutes...
stuff is a Sunny D commercial.
Okay, Murray, thank you. And...
Saying you're wrong again. That's all I'm saying.
I know I'm wrong! Oh, my God. So, in just like 10 minutes into the movie... He's back to he's kind of like functioning like an adult, but whenever he delivers any kind of dialogue, he's holding a toy car. He's talking like a normal functioning person, but he's holding a toy car.
He's not talking like a normal functioning person. It's still Lou Ferrigno,
but he's not saying, "Oh, like wrestling."
Yeah, he doesn't talk like a caveman.
Yeah,
but he's still, you don't know what he's saying. I mean, he can't help it. He's hard of hearing. We all know that. We all know why Lou Ferrigno talks the way he does, and why he has to play this role the way he's playing it.
Yeah, they definitely pumped the brakes a little bit on the full artard in this one. They were like, I don't know if Lou was like, guys, you made me look like an asshole the first movie.
I could see him being like that, because did I ever tell you the Hercules movies we did? According to Sybil Danning, they were supposed to be fucking hard R, fucking and killing, and she was all into it. She's like, fuck yeah, I want to do that.
Yeah.
And Lou's like, no, I'm a family man. These have to be kids' movies. And he had the power to make those that would have been probably way more awesome.
I agree with
the
that.
kids' movies.
Sybil had to try her hardest to get her tits just like falling all over the place. I don't think she had to work too hard on that. I think that's her.
She's a pro.
That's her
knows how to-
talent.
Yeah.
That's her Billy Drago hand acting,
Boob
tit
acting,
acting.
yeah.
I like it. So he's not quite fully, mentally handicapped in this movie. Still a little slow. He's being injected with the juice. Still holding that car.
We don't really know what that is. They say call it vitamins. I
Vitamins,
don't know
yeah.
what that means. Is it P2P?
Who knows? This was 94. They took a 5-year
He
hiatus.
doesn't need steroids. He's fucking huge. So I don't know what it was.
Who knows? We took a 5-year break in between the two Cage movies. We're picking it back up right where it left off. I mean, I was excited for this. It's a little slower. It takes a while to get going.
Thoughtful, a little less El Leong.
A little less El Young. We
We do get some. We get a balding Asian guy and a guy who doesn't talk.
Yeah, and he giggles though.
Yeah, and he uses a broomstick as a weapon.
Yeah, practical joker, that man. All right, we have done enough stepping on each other's toes. Let's go ahead and get to that trailer.
we stepped on our toes, and now we're going to step on this show. Everybody, get ready for some Cage 2, Arena of Death.
Doctors saved my body, but they couldn't save my life.
I don't understand.
Because most of me died back in Vietnam.
The cage fights are not so secret anymore. They're broadcast via cable television to the entire world. Tin Lam Yin is behind the fight.
Din Lam Yin is dead. Billy crushed that worm a few years ago.
Kill you right here.
Cripple a bit, but very much alive.
If we continue with the shots, how long do you think we will last?
His heart could burst at any time.
We give you an evil medicine to make you more aggressive.
I'm ready now. The people want to see me in the cage.
Fighting like some kind of wild animal.
Billy never fight for you.
He would if he thought you were dead.
Think of your friend often, yes?
I don't believe he's dead.
Billy! Billy!
I just don't feel it.
If Ian has Billy, either you, Interpol, the Triad, or anybody else is going to keep me out of Chinatown.
The best way of finding Billy is to face him in the cage.
As long as I can go in disguise.
Got word you're gonna fight the great one next. Billy?
You must continue to fight to win so that no harm comes to you.
Race.
Broken back. And all the years of agonizing pain.
What's the matter, Billy?
Does your chest hurt?
I must give you the injection.
Oh, for shot!
You know our arrangement. You fight, and I take care of you.
Yeah, well, the arrangement changing.
Welcome back. Great trailer. Probably learned a lot. Probably heard a lot of
Is there a
weird.
trailer? Oh yeah, there is. Yeah.
A lot of weird. I mean, I think I got some clips that might get work their way into the final product here, but the post-production audio of this movie is interesting.
Yeah.
A lot of weird screams.
A lot of familiar screens.
A lot of familiar screams. Just a lot of shit happening, and it made me very happy. But if you're watching this movie, you're going to feel like you're on drugs.
It's jarring.
It's very jarring. It's all over the place.
Because no screams line up with anyone's mouths.
That as well. That as well. All right, so Murray, we're opening up this movie. Cage 2, where are we? Before we were in the sweet suburbs. They had their whole gym outside. They had a nice little patio. They had it all. But now they're in the hard streets of Chinatown. What
Are they? We
happened?
don't really know that. They could still be in the same neighborhood.
We saw Scott's house. They moved to Chinatown.
We had an apartment. You're right.
Oh yeah, apartment. But yeah,
Well, you're
they,
right.
They
yeah.
moved to Chinatown.
Well, I mean, they got maybe their oyster bar, Billy's Oyster Bar, isn't working out.
I mean, they say
Maybe-
later on it
was there a pandemic? I don't know. Maybe that's
Maybe there was a 5-year difference. Could have been a pandemic in there.
this movie could have been set in 2020.
Maybe the Chinese love oysters.
There's a lot.
so-
There's a lot of bad eating going on in Chinatown. So maybe they had a mini kind of pandemic.
Oh okay. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay,
But no, they're in the supermarket.
which is a warehouse.
It's a warehouse. It's a Big Lots.
It is a Big Lots. They pan out at one point, and there's furniture. There is used clothes, and then in this one corner that we're in, there's refrigerators that are half full.
There's like a dog in a cage. I didn't know what that was.
Didn't know what that was. And there's just produce in boxes, unmarked, various things in various places.
Spoiled stuff, that they get rid of. The real supermarkets get rid of.
Yeah. They just go dumpster diving.
It's a discount supermarket.
So what is going? I mean, Reb's dressed to the nines here. He's got the fucking Dockers on, pulled right up under his nipples. Got the shirt tucked in.
His hair was troubling me. It was very floppy and sloppy. I don't know what was going on with Reb's hair, but it disturbed me.
It had a good little volume to it. It was very blonde.
It was very 90s.
It's very 90s.
He was very 90s. Everyone's clothes is baggy as fuck. Well, we also, while it's going on, we see a mysterious Asian gang of baggy-suited guys walking towards this supermarket.
Yeah. And the one guy's got big, flowing rock hair.
Rockstar hair.
Rockstar
It's fucking
hair.
awesome.
Oh, I look frizzed out as fuck, but, he means business. So
Billy's a child, as we pointed out.
Yeah, he's still in his infantile brain mode here.
So
early on in the
what
movie.
does the child want to eat, Griff?
Murray, cookies.
Of course.
He wants cookies. He wants sugary garbage drinks.
I don't know how he maintains that body just eating shit all the time, but he does it somehow.
Amazing.
And he's just like, I want some cookies. And then he's like, whatever. He can sell. He's like, serenity now, serenity now. He wants to just beat the shit out of Billy. He's like, why don't I just dump this guy? But I feel guilty.
No, he loves Billy. Come on, man.
So, dude.
And then while Billy is talking about how good the cookies are, he's explaining to Scott the commercials he saw, like a child would. He saw the cookie commercial on TV, so he's explaining it to Scott. Scott's just rolling his eyes like, oh, Billy. A baby walks by, like a woman with a baby on in the backpack carrier thing. And that blows Billy's mind. He's like, oh, baby. And he grabs it. Were you a little afraid that we're going to have a Lenny situation?
I remember the little kid that comes and grabs some blue stuff or
Yeah.
OJ. I forget what he got.
He did grab the blue stuff.
Because Scott goes, get that OJ, because we know OJ does a body good. It can protect you from drug addiction.
If only he would have taken that, it might have saved
And
him
he's
later
like,
in the
I don't
movie.
want the orange juice. I want the blue stuff.
I saw the commercial. I need the blue stuff.
Kids love it. He's like, well, you got to drink it. He's like your mom. He's like, you're going to drink all of it if we get it.
Look at it. It's blue. Of course I'll drink it. And you're right. That little kid comes up, just all smiles, gets him a bottle of blue stuff. Billy gets that blue stuff. Scott's like, all right, Billy, I'm going to go talk to some of this talent in the store over here.
He walks off. Billy opens up some of the blue stuff. And in his defense, it was window cleaner. It was not, I don't know why they had it in a refrigerated thing. Blue stuff was window cleaner. He's always brain damaged. He spits it out. Dumps. There happens to be like a fucking garbage can right next to him. He dumps it, and then he dumps all the other blue stuff in there.
And he says to the camera, looks directly at it, winks, no one should drink this stuff. It's bad. All right.
So Reb, you just had some babes caught his eye. Some mom jeans were just flashing.
Ooh, yeah.
Chick was wearing a beret for some reason.
Oh, yeah. 90s fashion, man. Height. And Reb looks in there. He's got moves for days. I'm going to try to
I think
use
they're
some of
checking
this.
him out. Weren't they checking him out?
It's hard to tell. I think it was
He
mutual.
was checking some cantaloupes out, sniffing them. And
They're just crushing in because they're just molded out and, bad. Is this overripened? But yeah, there's mutual things happening between these three. They're all looking at each other. They're all into it. He looks in their grocery. They just have a handbasket with like a bag of chips in it. He goes, oh, you guys got a big night planned? And they're like, the biggest night. Look at this bag of chips. It's the family size. We're going to have a huge party tonight.
He's like, are you sure there's two of you? Or that's a lot for just two people.
That's a lot for two people.
By the way, my name's Scott Monroe. How are you? And he kisses one of their hands.
Oh, and the blushing. The blushing. I don't know how we could see that through the grain of a VHS ripped DVD. We actually had to go through. There was a tracking line at the bottom of this whole movie.
I had the Blade Runner in it, and I was just enhance. Yeah, and it didn't work because all I was saying was enhanced to my TV. But just as he's about to seal the deal and get those digits, the Asian gang, just busts in and starts opening fire.
Yeah.
And I love it, like, Reb, Scott, grabs the two women and uses them as a shield. He, like, throws them in front of him.
Yeah.
And they just get blown away. And he falls on that big pile of cantaloupes.
He's got his back to the cantaloupes. The two women are in front of him, and it's his Vietnam instinct. He just grabs them, uses them as a shield, falls backwards. So we get to see like the gang shoot everybody up, and we hear those weird screams happen. Just post-production, beautiful audio, horrible Foley work. Everything in this movie is insane.
Lighting very dark too.
Yeah, and again, we get to see this whole warehouse, grocery store. It's bizarre. And finally, we get back over to Billy, who's like climbing to his feet, and he's gonna go after the
Jin,
Asian
the
gang.
head guy, Jin.
Yeah, his name was Jin and Yin. Ugh.
Yeah, and he shoots Billy in the stomach. We're like, holy shit! What? No, worry, it's a dart.
Yeah,
and I guess it had knockout shit on it because it knocks Billy out.
He has a Vietnam flashback before going down.
He does have a few.
I like that they used the footage from the first movie.
Like fill in the gaps in case you haven't seen it.
And then we get Scott climbing under the... He pushes the two women out of his way.
Billy! Billy!
Billy! Billy! Billy! Billy! Billy!
Classic Reb yell, and he just throws the women off like they're trash. He's not even concerned if they're alive. He's just concerned about Billy.
I did notice that he used their butts to mount up, pull himself up, and he said, "Those are ripe." See his cantaloupe,
Scott, you devil, you.
Woo! And then we just cut to cage fights. No time wasted.
I love it. I don't want to see some fucking, backstory.
No, I'm going to go a little way out of order. We're going to zoom out for a second here. I don't remember the first one being so focused on Billy. I felt like we had more Reb time.
Well, Reb was looking for Billy, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the same in this movie. Reb's still always looking for him, but I feel like we barely got Reb, and we mostly saw really bad, half-assed choreographed fights with Billy.
You would be right.
Okay, so we're going into his first fight.
So apparently, we don't know, like we said, we don't know what they injected Billy with. He's getting vitamins, I'm using air quotes. And it enrages him. Somehow it helps his brain damage, too, because when he's enraged, he's totally normal again. And he's killing people. I want more! Feed me more! And he's just enjoying the hell out of murdering people. Of course, like we said a million times, this is my dream scenario to have this set up. Like,
yeah.
All the beautiful people.
Are you going as far? I mean, we're in the Cage Cable Network studio.
That's the only place you go is up, Grab. So of course I'm thinking like
they had the rafters with the national flags. The American flag, of course, had a little stain, possibly a shit stain on it.
Their butthole with that.
Somebody was.
And yeah, he's just like more because he's fighting some blonde dude.
Yeah,
he was an American Gladiator. I think his name was Malibu. Was his American Gladiator name?
I like it.
And he's like a surfer dude with a Menang chin, a blonde Menang chin. Lou just kills him.
He just murders him. It's no big deal.
We get a commentator that looks. Where was your mom at in 19? Where were you born?
87.
Because this guy looks eerily like Griff, who's doing the commentating. He's got big old mustache, giant fucking glasses on.
Yeah. Oh, he had the dork from Wonder Years glasses on.
And he's just like, yeah, because I don't think they had commentating. And I want to also point out, very inclusive. There's a lot of women cameramen or camera persons.
You're right. No, you're right about that.
Which you would not see normally. I'm not going to let women near a camera on my fucking cage fighting organization.
You are right about that. Now, I didn't catch our commentator's name. I know the first name was Vinny, but I couldn't tell if it was Rosenbottom or Rosenbaum.
It was Rosenbaum.
Baum. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vinny Rosenbaum, and he's calling the night. He's got the worst commentator voice possibly. It's very nasally, not really inspiring, and yet the crowd loves him. They love their Vinny.
He's no Excalibur, that's for sure.
And he's got a little, instead of having a bell to start and end matches, he's got a gong.
Well, of course, he's in Chinatown. You gotta, play to the crowd.
And Yin runs the place, and he's an Asian man, so.
I insist you hit the gong. Bang a gong, get it on.
That is good shit, pal.
And yeah, he's doing his best though.
Yep. So Vinny, he closes out the night. This has been another great episode of Cage Cable News Network.
Vinny Rosenbaum with another night of no holds barred cage fighting here from the Cage Cable Network.
What other shows are on the Cage Cable Network?
Non-stop cage fighting. Anything that takes us in a cage. Basically.
Luke Cage, the original Marvel series, they had that. Billy Cage from I believe he's one of the Mortal Kombat fighters. They just had people playing him in the arcades. I don't know any other cages.
Christian Cage.
The Bird
Brian
Cage. Was the Bird Cage out yet? Yeah, let's just say it was.
It's called La Caja Fall is what the proper name for the Bird Cage.
Oh, okay.
Good. Yeah, there's a lot of cage work going on here.
Let's go to that dressing room though, and we got Billy. He's getting the tension released.
He's getting a very awful Death Race 2000 massage where there's just dabbing at his muscles.
Yeah, this is Milo. This is introducing.
Is it Milo? I thought it was just another Asian one.
I thought it was Milo. I thought she was the only one who touched him.
allowed to tie jump.
But we should point out that this movie is introducing actress Shannon Lee, who went on to do amazing things, I imagine.
Yeah, as I've always said, if that's your first movie, you get the introducing credit, you're never going to work again in Hollywood. It always works that way. And this is no different.
Oh, I like my notes I put, he gets a message. Not a massage, he gets a message.
Yeah, get me a better massage
Yeah.
therapist, because this blows.
So he's demanding, we're seeing a whole new, because even in Cage 1, he was willing to fight for his friends. He thought he's got Stockholm Syndrome. Thought his kidnappers were his friends because they gave him the iceberg lettuce sandwich. That's all you do to win people over.
Right. And now he's just bloodthirsty, and he's like, my tummy hurt.
I need better opponents. Thicker necks to break.
He's just having a tummy ache all through the movie. I guess that's where they inject it. It's like rabies shots. Maybe they give him rabies shots because they're giving him injections in his stomach. And he's always like, my stomach hurt.
It feel like it gonna explode. And he's got a little Hot Wheels car, and he's just playing with the wheel on it.
You think it's the shots, or does he has Vinny's before the fight? 'Cause we said Vinny's will tear up your system, dude.
We don't.
I'm not talking about Vinny Rosenbaum. I'm talking about Vinny.
Here's the problem with that, though. We know his diet. It's cookies, blue drink, and iceberg lettuce sandwiches.
Which, like we said, is Windex. It's not.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as blue drink. We know it's purple drink. It's the purple. That's
if
the
you
color
looked
drink.
into Scott's hand cart early in the first scene, there was just heads of iceberg lettuce and buns.
Eats them.
And moldy buns at that. So maybe that's what's doing it, the mold.
I don't know. His stomach's hurting, and they're like, I need another vitamin shot.
Oh, boy.
And Yin, I want to give Yin a fucking great voice. It's silky smooth.
It is.
Whatever
it's great.
you say, Billy.
We do need to point out that, okay, guys, spoiler for the first Cage. Still go watch it. Wonderful trip. So Billy gets a hold of Yin in the first movie and bear hugs him. And you just hear, they had better post-production work in there, but you hear a lot of snapping.
Yeah, it was just someone snapping a celery stick.
Yeah.
Basically the sound effect.
And Yin falls, and he's just bleeding out of every orifice, eyeballs, earballs, mouth balls, everything, nose. And then the movie, as it fades to black, you see a ring finger on Yin's hand start twitching.
Yeah. It was great. It was a great setup. But
setup.
What was the year difference between this movie?
5 year. It was 89 and 94.
I can't fucking believe someone tried for 5 years to get this sequel made.
It feels like they made it a year later, and then they just got caught in post-production hell because they didn't have an audio guy. So then somebody's like younger friend with, a Casio keyboard is like, I could do it.
You ever hear Riverbend? That's my only credit.
Okay, let's get over to Scott. He's got it.
His usual way, just wander around, scream Billy.
Billy! His jacket got It's great detective work right there. His jacket, for some reason, reminded me of Pete last week's clothing. Just the tan and black that he had on.
It was very baggy, I remember.
And it was baggy, yeah.
I'm going to put that up on our Twitter. I noticed that as well.
So he's wandering around Chinatown, their neighborhood. He might run in. Who knows? He might run it. Wait, that was Little Tokyo and Showdown in Little Tokyo.
Yeah.
So it's not. He's not going to run into Dolph Lundgren.
Well, he does train in Little Tokyo in this movie.
So he could have. Almost crossed
Two
roads.
gigantic blonde men could have just bumped into each other with huge dicks that's bigger than I've ever seen.
The fucking indent in Reb's
See, that's
pants.
the thing. Reb's such a fucking player. Dolph Lundgren's character goes, you have the biggest dick I've ever seen it. I've seen my dick.
Check out this fucking monster. 4 inches? No. 2 inches from the ground.
Wow.
All right, so he's heading over into Chinatown, and we see there's this bald fucking Hulk Hogan geek. He's got the fading top hairs.
He's a balding Asian man.
Yeah.
And he's got like a little dude, Asian man with a beard with him, doesn't he? Or is he not?
I don't remember if
he doesn't come
Ogami's
up till
following
later.
him.
He comes in later.
He comes up in like
so
a
he's
scene
like,
or two.
Man, I've been a lot of hard looking for Billy. I need to get a drink.
Yeah. Pops into a little dive bar. It's an Asian themed dive bar because Chinatown.
Right.
So lots of shady shit happening. It doesn't look like they could serve even a cocktail, and yet they serve food in this place because there's a man in the corner in a suit, dressed very well, eating with chopsticks. Probably
he's got like a bowl cut.
Did he have a bowl cut?
Yeah, he had a bowl cut. He's been in some movie we've seen. He looked familiar.
I did enjoy that he was eating iceberg lettuce out of a bun with chopsticks
Yeah.
and dipping it in soy sauce.
Iceberg lettuce, sushi. It was just raw. Everything's wrapped in iceberg lettuce.
It's
Great
quality.
Foley work at that crunch, dude.
The crunching.
That was the only good Foley work was the lettuce crunching.
It'd be great if somebody actually did get their hands on Cage 2 and watched this, and we're just like, these guys are fucking liars. This Foley work is perfect.
Yeah, you check your fucking ears. You tell you that.
This is an ear test. Anyways, he goes up, and they do a little Simpsons bit where he's trying to get information for the bartender. I'll take a beer. Slips a 1 at him. And I want to know where some fights are happening. And the bartender just says, B. So the bartender's refusing to give him information, Murray.
Well, he says, no fight, just drink.
No fight, just drink.
And he's like, maybe this will sweeten the deal. He puts 2 quarters on top of that $1.
And then he nudges over to the fucking arcade machine. He's like, that's 2 rounds, buddy.
And he's not budging. No fight, just drink. And this guy, he's like an iceberg of himself.
Okay.
and the guy eating the iceberg sushi's noticing this out of the corner of his eye, but he doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
And then these goons walk in.
The black hands.
But they have white hands on the back of their jackets.
That was, you know what? I didn't even really put that together. That was kind of obnoxious.
Yeah, it was.
I don't like that.
And they're like, where's our protection money? We all paid up. What are you talking about? We want more. And like Scott just goes into the background.
I kind of like how they did that. They let Reb. I really appreciate Reb in this movie. I thought he acted really well. He lost his muscle tone, and he played it just like that. All of his muscle went into his hair, that floofy hair. So we got all this action happening in the foreground, and then in the background, if you pay close attention, you'll see that fluffy blonde hair disappear into the background. I loved it.
Just goes into the shadows.
And our black hands, they're looking around. They're giving the bartender shit. What, you got your muscle over here? Is he going to come step up? And the dude, you just hear the chopsticks fall, politely cleans off the little bit of soy sauce.
They're a second off the sound effect.
Of course it is. And the chair moves 5 feet, and then a minute later you hear... Oh, yeah,
dabs a little lettuce off his mouth.
Picks a little piece out of his tooth, sploofs it over, and he takes out like 2 guys, gets one guy in a headlock, and then rolls up his sleeve and reveals a very poorly done tattoo of just like a dagger.
Yeah, it was a dagger. And they go, oh, my God, you're Triad? So we learned this guy's part of the Chinese mafia.
Yeah.
So they're like, fuck, we didn't know. We didn't know this is a Triad bar.
Please. Forgive us. We'll do anything. We'll do absolutely. We'll get you some more iceberg lettuce.
And he's like, I've already had my fill of iceberg for the day. But what you could do is find that poofy-haired round eye that just walked out the bar. And they're like, we'll do that.
So a minute earlier, just to show us, in case we were idiots and didn't know Reb run out the front door, they show Reb running through various alleys in Chinatown, and there's a man plucking a live chicken. And you see him, he's right next to the door, so the door opens and bumps him. And now the black hands are running after Reb. So they open the chicken door and bump the guy. It's just a funny bit. I really like that they worked that in there, Murray.
Okay. So they finally corner Scott. Do they want to know why he's there?
What are you doing in Chinatown?
And he's like, I'm just looking for a cage fight.
I just want to see some. I'm looking for a bookie. I want to get some money
My
on
cable
these
company
fights.
doesn't carry the cable network.
Yeah,
I got to see it live.
Well, I'm the man. If you want to give me some money,
it'll be a long time before you're a real man.
Why, you a bookie?
Yeah, I'm the man.
Be a long time before you're a real man.
Red Bull.
And then Scott does some sweet stand level kicks to the kneecap.
There's so many sweet stand kicks in this movie.
He's just like, super like fuck, like Reb had to be like no more than 40 at the time of this movie, and he's like an elderly man,
dude.
It's like, and then he runs away.
He shouldn't have been doing as much.
He runs away like an old man. He's he's gonna fall over.
And you can't blame his pants being too tight or anything. He's wearing like
incredibly flowing pants, man. He was wearing MC Hammer pants.
Oh God! And then as the gang comes to, the Black Hands, they come to, and they're getting ready to chase him again. That's when our fucking Hulk Hogan Asian man reveals himself.
We mean Hulk Hogan just by the haircut. He's
just the haircut.
He's
tiny, and he steps in front, and the Black Hands are giving this guy shit now. And then Ogami pops from behind him like his shadow.
He goes, Sensei, take care of these goons. And then Ogami, he never talks. He's a littler Asian man with a beard and a broomstick, and he just fucks these dudes up.
A duffel bag,
and you never touch.
Never touch that duffel bag.
And he just fucks him up.
And we join Scott jumping into the back of a cab. Shit! Get out of here!
Go! Shit! Get out of here!
So you get down to Chinatown often or what?
And the cab's like, I don't know where I am.
The guy like shits himself. You never been to Chinatown? No, I haven't.
Neither have I. He lives there, but he's like, I don't know either.
Everyone's just frazzled.
They just drive. Oh my God, it's so weird.
So this is another one of my when I get my my Cage Cable Network up and running, dude. I'm gonna have women bathing nude in the background. It's in the background.
We've always talked about your cage setup, and now it sounded more like you wanted the in-ground pit fight ring. So you're not gonna do the cage.
I don't know because like I learned with Lionheart. I like the diversity that I don't know what her name had, where she was like,
I can't
she would
remember
just
either.
make any room into a fucking death, arena.
Right, we were gonna look up that woman for you and get her to be on your team because she put together a great fight.
Great
so you're into the
designer.
So you saw this, you're like, I gotta keep it open. I gotta keep an open floor plan so I can do more shit
I have to
like
keep
that.
an open mind. I can't just get involved.
You got to have an open mind to open some minds, and by that I mean someone's splitting someone's head open and their brain spills out. Okay.
I like the setup Yin has. Very dark room. Very Asian influence.
That's what I want to ask. Did you ever think of... We've never talked about it. Do you ever think about the office you're going to have? Because we're seeing Yin's office.
I'm very intrigued by his office. You know me, I would rather have a mud wrestling pit instead of a bathtub.
Okay.
Just so I could just... I'm not going to watch. It's out of the corner of my eye. Like every time I'm doing business, I'll just... Cause the women are constantly going to be wrestling.
It's going to be exhausting.
Well, fuck, it's what you... Got to earn your keep.
Are you gonna have like a rotation? Like you?
Yes, I would have. It's like a shifts.
Okay, like 40...
And I'm not in the office all the time. Come on.
These are the details that are gonna keep me up at night. 45-minute shifts, hour shifts. What are we talking here, Murray?
I haven't worked that out yet. I got to talk with OSHA about it.
You're gonna talk to? Wait a minute. Underground Ring talking to OSHA?
Well, if we got a cable network and we still have standards and practices, like, you can't say you only say shit twice on Cage Cable Network.
This is true.
So these Asian women with these awful boob jobs are just like pawing at each other, kind of, but not touching.
They look like they're high or on Lake Havasoma.
And a familiar face walks in, I think. Is this where Wu comes in?
Yeah. This
Dr. Wu, I don't know the guy's name. Y'all remember Akamura from Samurai Cop, one of the goons. He gets laid in Samurai Cop.
He does. We see a lot of him.
So he's the bald guy with the fucking Fu Manchu mustache.
Still has the Fu Manchu in this. But after Samurai Cop, he said, I'm cutting out with this gang shit. Actually, he didn't because he's back involved with the gang, but he said he's going to get his doctor's degree.
And he did. He's
medical degree.
So he's the guy who's been giving shots to Billy. And he's just like, look, if I give him like 5 more shots, his heart's going to explode.
I'm pretty sure I saw one of the needles that they had it in, and it looks like they just melted down some Flintstone chewables into a syringe.
That'll do it to you.
Yeah.
That'll make me enraged. And he's like, really? I guess we have to speed up our operations.
This might be the scene where we see, like, their money's not coming in right. Maybe that was later.
No, he's just like, they have tournaments coming up. He's like, we got to speed it up. They were, like, putting it down, kicking it down the alleyway. And he's like, we got to speed it up. We got these pay-per-views to get. We got these numbers.
Yep.
Because he doesn't give a shit about Billy. He just wants to use him. Right,
that's what. Because they were worried that Billy was going to fall apart before he got to the pay-per-view, which is where they're going to get the big payoff, and then they can kick Billy out the door without the drugs and everything because he's going to fail them. Okay. So, you got that little quick cut, and I'm going to burp all day now. So, Scott returns home, back to his apartment in Chinatown, which he doesn't know where it is, so it probably takes him a long time. It did take him all day to get back home.
Billy! Billy! Because usually Billy would go, what do you want, Scott? Because he's like up in the window.
I love this idea that whenever Scott leaves to go get some Vinnies or something, Billy is just hanging out the window with his ear, ready, listening for Scott, and so he can return, and that's
Which is
how
great acting, because we know Lou Ferrigno can't hear. So that's great acting. The way he cups his ear, he still looks like a guy who can actually hear.
This is true.
And he comes home, and we see the guy who looks nothing like Hulk Hogan, because he's bald, Sho Tanaka, and his partner, Ogami.
Oh, yeah.
And they work for Interpol. And he breaks it down. We've been trying. I don't know what the fuck were they trying to do, because it's like, it makes no sense. The plan they make up, we'll get to at the end, the plan makes no sense at the end what they're going to do. They're trying to get Yin.
They're just trying to get Yin.
Who has a cable network.
Who is airing, and they couldn't trace back
murders.
In Chinatown. They're like right here. Everybody's there. Like, you get to see the audience multiple times in this movie. They're letting everybody in, but it is black tie. So you just got to figure out the rich people.
And what does Interpol have to do with this? That's like international shit. Like, what the fuck?
I don't know. And we learned in the first movie, we learned in this movie, like in Chinatown, it's a completely Asian police force. So you don't have to bring in other people. Yin is an American too. Why is Interpol? Maybe the cable network only broadcasts overseas.
They do broadcast out of Mexico. They do say that later on. Like,
okay,
I guess like the satellite feed goes there. I don't know what
they're using a proxy,
something like
just
that. Yeah.
They wanted to get the Mexican Netflix, and they also, wanted to fuck with Interpol a little bit there.
So maybe it's a cable issue. Maybe that's it. And that's international.
So
international waters.
There we go.
That's where it's happening.
So Sho is actually going to give us a little bit of
exposition.
Exposition. Thank you.
If you haven't
my
seen
God.
this movie, if you haven't gone on YouTube and watched this movie or listened to our episode, you're going to need this scene.
So they reveal that Billy did not, in fact, kill Yin in one. He's alive and well.
Because we learned that, like, as soon as they assume someone's dead, they're dead to Scott and Billy.
Yeah.
So they just assumed Yin was dead because they heard the celery crunch.
Right.
They're like, that's got to be dead.
There was probably a moment in where Scott had explained.
It was just Lou squeezing an iceberg lettuce. Like,
so then Sho goes on to explain that Yin is upset at Billy because you guys fucked up his fight ring and stole his money.
And almost murdered him. You crushed his fucking ribcage.
I didn't even know if he
we didn't point out, Yin is wearing like a back brace. It's like fucking spina bifida, like back brace.
I think we tried to and got completely diverted. But yes, he is wearing...
So I like it. Continuity. They're keeping it
Yes,
going.
for sure. But it is plastic, and every time you hear it, great Foley work, it is metal clanging on each other. Like, it's the Tin Man. It's oil that fucking thing. But I don't remember him bringing up the attempted murder. But what they do bring up is Yin is also really upset that you took that money and opened up a very successful restaurant.
Oyster bar, yeah.
Which, again, is canon. That's how they ended the movie. They opened up a fucking oyster bar.
They opened a couple franchises of Billy's
They
Oyster
must
Bar.
have, yeah. Oh my God.
And he's like, and by the way, that guy with the tattoo that you didn't see because you fucked off.
Yeah. This doesn't make sense.
And by the way, I wasn't there, yet somehow I know that you saw a guy with a tattoo.
None of this makes sense.
Yeah, he's involved too. He's Triad. And he's like, shit, son of a bitch. Talks all fucking rep dust. Shit, damn.
So I love this because they already just into it that Reb is gonna stop at nothing to get Billy back. And they're like, you gotta fuck off. This is up to us.
This is dangerous.
Yeah, we're completely incompetent. It's out of our hands. It's out of our jurisdiction.
Even Asian cops are like that? Wow.
Yes.
They work so hard. They're industrious people.
They should have been able to lock this down way earlier. Chinatown is not that big. There's only
all you got to do is go to Chinatown and scream Billy, and eventually someone cries out, "Me!
Hello!" Jesus Christ.
So, like, Scott's like, no dice. Shit! I'm going with you.
All right, we're going back over to Billy. We need to see some cage fighting. It is Cage.
It's Cage, after all. Ring of Death.
And we got a man in here in just a red singlet. It's not quite the traveling black singlet you would see in 80s territory wrestling, but it's close enough. And
he gets beat like a jobber, too.
He gets his ass handed to him, and fucking Billy throws him to the ground, and then he's getting the audience all pumped up, and then he circles around.
Show him, and he's like the fucking Ultimate Warrior. He's like shaking the cage.
Oh, my God.
Got the fringe on his biceps.
Great facials. And then he runs over and does a field goal kick, and Lucy does not pull the football away.
No, he crushes the dude's skull like a cantaloupe.
Jesus Christ. Ooh,
you get a flashback to that scene where Reb is squeezing the cantaloupe.
It was, okay, Foley guy, not so good. Post-production sound, not good. But the flashback guy, the guy who was working those clips in there,
editing.
Great.
Great.
Oh, video editing was amazing. And we got Vinny. He is eating it up. Everybody, that was one of the best finishers I've ever seen, period. That brain crushed in like a rotted cantaloupe. This is Vinny Rosenbottom saying good night.
He doesn't even have a fucking great sign-off. Just good night.
Oh, I love it because they go up to Yin then, and he's on his like little overlook there.
Yeah, of course, you got to have that. You
He's
got to
got
have the private office that you can still like look on, and see everything.
I mean, he's got the hot dog rollers. He's got the private Slurpee machine, soft serve machine,
private Slurpee, and
Yeah.
soft serve,
and hot waffle iron right there, so we can
Wow.
put the ice cream on the waffles. Wow. So good. But he's, they're like, what do we do with this guy? His head crushed in like a cantaloupe, a rotted cantaloupe, not a fresh one. Oh, trash compactor.
Throw him in the trash compactor.
There's a lot
And
of
Billy's like, I want more. They're like, give him more.
just give the kid some more.
So they get a handicap fight, and I don't mean because Billy's brain damaged.
Oh,
I mean because there's two guys fighting Billy.
All right, so this is the Young Bucks. They're out of shape. They're fucking sloppy. The one's bald as fuck, but he's got long hair. He tried to dye it a different color to hide the bald spot. It's not working. It's okay. The other one's just a goof. He's just an idiot. Shawn Michaels wannabe. And so they're super kicking the shit out of Billy here, but they're weak as fuck. They're sloppy,
Yeah.
He's just taking them. He's eating them for breakfast.
Not selling at all.
He's not selling at all. So finally, he catches the one guy's leg, hands it to his brother, and then bashes their heads together like a couple of coconuts.
And their heads explode. I mean, he kills these people.
Crowd again, loving it.
Blood splatters on a woman's tit. She just licks it off. These
Oh,
sick, rich
Vinny
fucks.
has found another mic somehow, and he has crossed them as if Billy is possessed. This man has murdered more.
This man has killed two men at once. While that's going on, Yin is like getting some nachos, like some nacho cheese on his nachos. He's like, "What did I miss?" And because he's got it all. He's living the life.
And then Vinny announces, "Oh, one of the girlfriends looks like it's Balding Buck's valet is getting into is getting into the ring now. What's she gonna do?"
And of course, she kicks fucking Billy in the dick. He kind of sells it.
Billy says, "You girl, me no hit girl."
And she's like, well, I'll hit these girls. Boom. Kicks him in the balls. He sells it for like 1 second. And then he just like, all right. Boom. And just flays into this chick. Punches her in the face.
She flies back
Teeth
in the
go
cage.
flying.
She spits teeth out. It's landing in martinis and everything. Open cocktails. And everyone's loving it. They're drinking the teeth down. It's good
All's
luck.
fair in the cage.
And this is Vinny Rosenbaum with another night of no-holds-barred cage fighting here from the Cage Cable Network. Well, as my father used to say, if you can't stand the heat, stay out of the kitchen.
Whew. So Yin is just okay. This is where they get into the money stuff that we were talking about earlier. Yin's back in his office. They've got like a little scale, and then I forget it might have been Jin. He comes in with the money on like a little platter.
Yeah, it was on a tray.
Yeah, they don't touch money there without gloves and everything.
Yeah,
so-
he also, like, was it like a shit-stained dollar bill? Because there's one bill he crumbles up and throws away. It's like, what
maybe
is
there's
it?
blood on it or something.
I don't know, but he was disgusted with one bill. Somebody wiped their ass with it.
Well, someone wiped their flies with the American flag. Why not the dollars?
Yeah, but he's like, they know that Billy's only got so many fights left in him, and they need that pay-per-view money.
Maybe they're bored. This is like the Goldberg, whole reign. He's winning it. He's trashing everybody. They love the violence, but we don't have enough people to murder to get him completely over.
Right. So Wu is like, look, man, I can keep giving him these fucking injections, but his heart's gonna explode. So we got to speed it up. We got to get tomorrow. We need to start the tournament tomorrow.
Yeah, we double the price of all the weekday shows. I mean, how many days are they running a week?
I think they're running every day. Looks like
Jesus
it.
Christ.
I mean, fuck hell.
The Monday crowd never brings in money. They shouldn't have overreacted like they did. So they're doubling all the daily shows, and then they're going to get to the pay-per-view at the end of the month. So that's going to be Billy's big send-off. Oh, after all that murder, I need to cool down. I mean, not cool down, but I need to relax with some nice matcha tea.
You need to heat up. And we see Ogami prepping tea, and Scott, they're at Scott's.
Yep.
Scott's like, shit! I didn't even know we had tea!
How does he know where everything in my house is? And Sho just goes, we've been in here before.
Yeah, we got cameras. We've been watching you masturbate.
What is going on? Why are you breaking in?
Well, I'll be damned!
You got a pretty good rep bear. And you know what? Your shit's pretty good, too. Your shit and damn are pretty good on spot.
I've been working on it.
Oh,
And I got to give it up to Reb, because Rebel yell all throat. Not from the diaphragm.
No.
You're supposed to go from the diaphragm.
Yeah.
Reb's all throat.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to be mute. I'm going to be spitting up blood by the end of this episode. I'm going to let everybody know that. If you get splattered with some blood, Griff, it's from my throat.
I mean, there really isn't Rebel yells in this movie.
There's not. There's a lot of shits and dams.
I mean, again, this is 94.
This is a more subdued Reb.
This is the later third of his career, so he's blown out those vocal cords.
Well, I think he's like, my character wouldn't, he's like a backseat to the Lou character.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be a little more subdued. I don't want to steal the scene.
He didn't keep up with his body. He let it go. If you don't use it, you lose it. We learned that very quickly.
And so Sho is like, look, you suck, but we need to get you ready, fighting ready, cage ready.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm a black belt.
I'll do anything for Billy. I'll get into the ring as long as you guys can disguise me, which, wow, did they disguise him.
And they're like, we're going to have Master Ogami teach you because you lost it and you need to get it back.
Here's the fun part about that is Ogami never does train him because he's not good enough to be trained by Ogami, and Sho trains him.
Yes.
So
nobody trains him. He just does a couple katas and that's it.
That's really it. I think
he does sparring once.
He does sparring once, but he mostly just gets his ass beat and goes, shit, what's the big idea? Like he's constantly just getting goofed on.
So we cut to Billy in bed.
Yep.
He's having a nightmare, another flashback, PTSD flashback to Nam.
Scott! That was awful.
And he wakes up, and we see that Milo, his servant woman, she's sleeping in a dog bed, right at the foot of his bed.
Oh, my God. Okay, let's go ahead and just put a number on how many days he's been here with Milo sleeping in the corner of his room. I'm putting it at 2 weeks.
I'm saying 2 days. Like, it just seems like it was like everything's moving so fast.
Yeah, it's probably 2 days.
And she's, like I said, she's sleeping in a dog bed at the foot of his bed. And she's like, do you need help? What's going on, Billy? And he's like, I had a nightmare.
But, of course, Milo calms down. No, it's okay. And she's massaging his nips because I guess that's what subdues him.
She's flicking him.
Putting an ice cube on one, flicking the other. It does something to your brain. It sends up like a pain
and pleasure. You're just like, your brain's so confused, you just go into a coma. So while that's going on, Scott and Sho and Ogami, they're like heading out. I guess they're going to train. They're going to go to the dojo. I don't know where the fuck they're going, but they're leaving. Scott's got a nice eggplant-colored baggy shirt on.
Jesus Christ.
He did.
He did. It just, you said it, and then it popped in my brain with that floofy hair. It just, It's too, if it were only a green, he'd been an eggplant man, I would, oh, God.
And then the elevator opens, and the whole gang, I thought it was the Black Hand gang for a second.
I thought it was supposed to be Black Hands, too. No. Chinatown is just so full of gangs that these guys are hanging out in the elevators. Every elevator, there's 7 of them in this building, and they all open at the same time. They get out and surround them.
As far as we know, Scott knows nothing. So why are they even attacking Scott? It's just a random gang.
Yeah. We have there's no reason for this fight other than because it's fun.
Right. So Scott's like, see you on the other side, and then he does his old man karate kicks at him.
Ha!
Ogami pulls out his short staff / broomstick, and he's like fucking dudes up.
There's one left. He pulls out his nunchucks. He's flopping them around, making a bunch of noises. But Ogami just pulls out his broomstick and pops him one right in the center of his head.
Yeah,
he opens his third eye.
Yeah, he probably killed the guy.
He probably killed the guy.
And then, like, so Scott, like, he's like, well, hey, I'm impressed by that. So he grabs Ogami's bag. Ogami smacks his knuckles.
Damn! Sensei doesn't like people touch his property.
Why don't you tell me these things?
Shit! He's like, don't ever touch the sensei's bag. So what creepy shit is in that bag is what I want to know.
It's probably where he keeps all of his hentai.
All this butt-warming shit in there.
Okay, or that. So we're going over the next morning. Billy, he's feeling a little better. Milo got him back to sleep. The nipple and flick and ice cube worked its charm. He went into a coma.
Is he feeling a little better? Because he's got a little body dysmorphia going on in this scene.
Oh, is this the scene?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. He's pumping the iron. He finishes the set. His veins are popping. Every muscle is going out of control.
Veins popping, nipples popping, eyes popping.
Milo's eyes are popping for sure.
Right. Cherry popping. And so he's like, am I getting smaller? And it's like, he's fucking huge. Like maybe he's looking at a funhouse mirror. We don't know. Like, he is brain damaged.
Yes. Okay.
So,
and of course, Milo comforts him. No, you look so huge. Look at me arm. Look
my
at
weak
you
little
arm.
arm.
Look
and
at your
you're
big
so
arm.
big.
I can't even put my hand around your wrist. And he's just like, okay, you might be right about that, but I'm pale as fuck.
I'm like a fish belly. I need a tan. And she's like, I'll put spray on tan on you. Do not worry. Tell me about yourself. I'm interested.
So Billy goes over to his he's got a cot that he sleeps on. They didn't even give him a real bed. So Milo's got the dog bed in the corner, and he's got just a cot to lay on. So
she only gets to lay in the dog bed at night. The dog lays in it during the day. I mean, fuck.
And that dog sheds, so she's just full of dog
It's an
hair.
Irish wolfhound, people. There's hair everywhere.
So she lays down with the tan, or Billy lays down with the tan, or getting tan, spray tan.
She's spray tanning him.
His back is so big.
It takes a while.
She uses a paint roller to run on.
Exactly.
And he immediately goes into a Vietnam flashback. I don't know what the tanner did to him, the scent of it.
I don't know. It reminded him of Nam. It's like the smell of napalm in the morning. And he loves it. And he tells her his story about he got shot in the head. So now,
oh, no, he passes out. And then he wakes up and tells her the story.
Oh, okay.
He passes out again.
But his tan looks great when he wakes up.
His tan looks fantastic.
And he tells her a little bit, like, basically exposition if you haven't seen the first Cage movie.
The doctor saved my body, but they couldn't save my life.
I don't understand.
They said I'll never be the same. Plus, most of me died back in Vietnam.
Perhaps you are not the same. Perhaps you are better than before.
I don't think so good. And I don't talk so good like I used to.
I cannot always say what is in my heart because my mouth will not find the words. And I don't always speak so good. But does that make me less a person?
No, Milo, you aren't. You're the best person I've ever known.
So if I am no less a person, why then are you less a person?
You don't have this.
I have much deeper scars on my spirit.
What do you mean?
Billy's having a real hard time because he doesn't speak so well, and he's like, I am basically not a human being because I cannot enunciate all my words correctly.
And she's like, I can't speak good English either.
Do you think I'm not good person because that?
Yeah.
And if we knew about the whole spectrum of whore, scum, friend, he probably would have spelled it out. But I think he just said, no.
Sounds like the greatest punk rock song ever written. Horse Scum Friend.
Oh, that was earlier on the Tippy Tap that you should all be listening to.
Right. And she's like, just because we're inarticulate doesn't mean we're not worthy. You know?
I don't remember if it was right here. I think there's just a little bit of hand touching in this scene. I don't think there's the full-on kiss yet. The very, very
Chaste peck.
frictionless kiss.
No tension at all.
But just before they might get into that exploration, Yin throws the door open.
Billy, how are you, my boy? He's trying to get him pumped up for that tournament.
Oh, yeah. And Billy, he's going along with it. He's just like, Yin, you're like a father to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 And of course I am, Billy. I love you. You only crushed my fucking rib cage and put me in this plastic fucking bullshit.
It's all in the past. Before...
He's like Vince McMahon. He can put shit behind you as long as he's money in the future.
Exactly. I gotta let you know, I stopped in at your old friend Billy's. You're Billy. I stopped in at your oyster bar one time. Mwah! Tasted like shit. Just as expected.
Passive aggressive there.
Oysters seem terrible.
Yeah, they do look gross.
Yeah.
And so we're just like, so he's got Billy in the palm of his hand. He's just playing him. So
Billy, of course, as we know, he just wants friendship. He
just wants someone to take care of him. He says that.
Yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I meant.
Just take care of me.
I'll murder people for you as long as you give me
Pay
a
my
place.
bills. That's all I give a shit about.
Give me a bed to sleep on, a
Blue
maid, some cars. Because this scene, he's definitely holding a
cars.
larger car. It's not a Hot Wheel anymore. He's moved up to the RC car.
Right.
So
we earned it.
Billy,
I got you a new car. What do you think?
I love the way you fucking squashed that brain earlier today. So I got you a Hot Wheel.
Yeah, just to hit
not a
home
Hot Wheel.
because, like we say, Lou is going back and forth with like he's brain damaged, he's not brain damaged, he's brain damaged, he's not. So to let you know, there's little hints like there's a shelf with like an RC car on there.
Yeah.
Like, why would an adult have that?
Marbles all over the floor.
Jack.
It's funny that we both were thinking Jack. All right, we got to go back to Agami's dojo for some this is where they really just pepper us with Reb storyline.
Right, Reb is he's just like, well, they're giving him shit. And he's like, I am a fucking black belt.
Why don't you use that black belt to hold your pants up? Because we're about to red in your ass.
And red in their ass, they do, because they beat the fuck out of it. He's like, shit, damn. And he's just getting beaten, like pummeled back and forth.
They can't, I try to focus these notes a little bit more in the future here, but they give us these 1 minute glimpse of Reb getting his ass beat. He's not, they keep saying, if you don't use it, you lose it. And Reb lost it. He's no longer a black belt. He's no longer a fighter. He's not the person we saw in Cage 1. He's different now. He's a restaurant owner. He's an
oyster bar proprietor.
Exactly. He's an entrepreneur. That's all he is. He's probably going out and getting the oysters himself.
Right.
Driving, wait, where are we? California somewhere, right?
Yeah, we're in Chinatown. L.A. I'm guessing L.A. Could be San Francisco. Obviously, it's Chinatown, right? Every major, like, West Coast city.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm going to say L.A.
All right, so let's go back over to Billy. And Milo is spilling the beans. The Flintstone tablets are all over the floor. She explains those are not vitamins, Billy. They're hurting you. That's what's hurting you. That's what's making your stomach want to explode.
But they're shaped like Fred Flintstone. Billy, it's not vitamins. It's bad stuff. Because even she doesn't know what the fuck it is.
And right on cue, knock, 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 it's Dr. Wu. I'm here to give you your vitamins.
Dr. Feel Woo.
Dr. Feel Woo.
And he's like, no, I don't want vitamins.
Ooh.
Fuck your chewables. And he's
Fuck
like,
your chewables. I like it.
All right, whatever.
He has to get up and grab him by the collar, and he's just like, no more vitamins. I'll fight. I don't care. You just got to take care of me.
It's like, really? We could have just not tried to kill you, maybe we could use you for years?
Yeah.
Why'd you tell us that, fucking Billy?
Why did they ask him that? Would you just fight for us for a good long while?
Yeah, he's already forgotten about Scott. He's just like, he really lives, he's YOLO all the time.
In case we forgot to mention, they tell him Scott's dead. And he just goes, okay.
Yeah. Will you take care of me?
Yep.
All right.
Because he knows he can't take care of himself, even though he seems to be doing...
He's really manipulative. He's the most manipulative, brain damaged person I've ever seen.
He's psychotic. Yeah, you're right.
He's a sociopath.
So this is
I feel bad for Wu and Yin now.
Oh,
You're getting used.
So we get another little touching moment here. Milo is so proud of her big Billy boy, and she's like, come here. And this is where we get that super just like, kiss.
It's a very chaste kiss, like a little peck on the lips, like you're kissing your aunt.
Oh.
And then fucking Wu goes to Yin and is like, you got to talk to this guy. So they bring Billy into Yin's office.
Yep.
No more bad meds. I'll fight for you. Just take care of me. I think we can work that out. That sounds very reasonable.
And of course, Milo is my friend. She stays.
You get her own dog bed. And I can work that out, yes.
We'll consider it.
But now you have to fight now, Billy. Okay. And it goes, because he's bloodlust. He wants to fucking murder somebody.
I mean, he's manned up. He's got it all worked out. He
hasn't manned up at all. He wants someone to take care of him.
But Milo is telling him how much
like
of
a
man.
woman, she's getting it. Even a brain damaged guy gets manipulated by a woman. She's like, they're not giving you enough, Billy. And he's just like, maybe you're right. Yeah.
I think that comes in another minute here. But all right, so we got a big fight.
This is the first round of this tournament that we've been hearing about.
Is it?
I think so. I don't know.
I don't think so, because it starts when Jack Peterson, or whatever he calls himself, gets involved.
Okay.
Reb. So, no, this is just the
James Parker.
This is just the big money roll that's going to fund it all.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, Mr. Mitchell comes into town.
Who is obviously supposed to be Donald Trump. Because he has a woman with him named Marla, which was Trump's wife at the time.
Okay. There was a lot of winking jokes happening here, and right over my red fuzzy hair.
Mean, Mitchell doesn't sound anything like Donald Trump, so I could see. But it was, they're obviously going for a Donald Trump type person.
Why not Ronald?
It'd make more sense to me.
Anyways.
Mr. Rump, that's what I'd call him.
So Mitchell comes up to Yin's private press box. He's impressed by, of course, the soft serve and the waffle and the nacho.
Wow, I don't even have that. Soft serve?
He's like, I just got this hot piece of ass right here. And that seemed to cut Yin in the heart. Well,
because his dick probably doesn't work anymore because he got crushed.
That's what happened. He's still wearing that thing. Mitchell's giving him...
He's got a back brace on his junk.
He's got a little dick back brace to keep it hard.
It's just 2 popsicle sticks and some tape.
Medical tape, of course.
Of course, medical tape. Come
on. So Mitchell is just like, look, my guy is pretty impressive. He's a boxer. And a moment ago, Yin revealed that he already knew his boxer because he explains to Billy, you're fighting a boxer. And this movie does a great job of explaining all the fight styles.
They do. They actually do. I'll give them that.
And so he asked Billy, do you know what that means, what a boxer is? Yeah, he's going to punch me a lot.
He's going to put you in box? No, Billy. He's going to punch you in your face. Don't let that happen. Okay. So Mitchell's like, how about we sweeten the deal?
Little tasty treat.
Maybe $1 million?
Yeah.
You feel that, Yin? Okay, I'm down with that. So they bet $1 million on this fight. So they're watching from their skybox.
Mitchell wants to get down and frolic with the people. But funny enough, he never goes down to frolic with the people. No. He waits right there. Even after his whole speech about how he's a man of the people.
Right, yeah. Like I said, he's like Trump.
Yeah, I was just going to say, yeah.
And so Billy, he fights a boxer, just some black dude.
Yep, you got Vinny warming up the audiences always. He's just killing it.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Bong.
And the boxer starts out fucking Billy up. Billy was not listening to Yin.
Yeah, he's letting the punches all land on him. Maybe it's because I think this is only the second match after the juice withdrawals.
I think so.
Yeah, so Billy's looking a little slow, and he's just getting punched. He's getting pummeled. He's getting thrown it back into the cage. And Mitchell is just loving it. He's just grabbing that ass a little harder and harder. His own ass. He doesn't grab on his...
He grabs his own ass and sniffs his fingers. And he's like, how about we sweeten the deal? $2 million.
And he hears
I think... So, do you think Billy's rope-a-doping, right? And this is set up to make some money off Mitchell.
That would be impressive if Billy could be
playing. He got the dope part, but I don't know if he's got the rope part.
Yeah.
But because Yin's like, I'll take that bet.
He starts squirming in his seat though because he's nervous about Billy, and Mitchell lands a fucking great joke. It's like landing the plane in that Top Gun video game. It's impossible to do, but Mitchell lands this joke with perfect execution. You need some WD-40 Tin Man? Perfect. Because the Foley guy, again, just going nuts here. Just
and as he says that, Billy gets knocked down for the first time in the movie. And we're like, holy shit. I mean, maybe he needed that fucking crazy juice and vitamins. And then, fucking...
Mitchell's back at it. How about $3 million? And Yin scoffs at him. 3? Why don't we really put some blood in our dicks? Let's make it $4 million. See, it's kind of funny there because he can't put blood in his dick. So he's trying. He's putting up a hard front here.
And he takes it, and then he's like, Billy just kills the fucking guy.
Billy finally just pushes the guy into a... Okay, Billy is 8 inches taller and 4 times wider than this guy.
He's 100 pounds heavier.
So he just pushes him into a corner, gets him in a headlock, and I thought he got... No. He just beats the shit out of him.
Yeah, he just kills the guy.
Yeah,
There's so many fights.
There is way too many really bad fights. This is where we get a lot of the... You see him throw a punch, and then they do a close-up of a fist, kind of slower, going 5 inches across.
There's a lot of slow motion in the fight scenes, and it just makes the fight look even more awkward. It doesn't even make it more exciting. It makes it look worse.
Yeah.
And so he kills the boxer. He's like, I'll expect that $4 million right now. And by the way, leave your lady friend.
Well, because he couldn't pay.
Yeah.
And so he's like, I'll take that collateral.
Much like Trump, he couldn't pay.
Oh, I see.
And
this is the thing that happened in the first movie, too, was people could never pay him. So that Mitchell's going to go out and find the next Billy, because that is literally what happened in Cage 1.
And then this is what happens. Then he winds up with Melania, because he leaves Marla to the inn.
Oh, man. This all works sense. Oh, okay.
So Billy's back in the locker room. Ah, my tummy! Milo's like, I told you not to eat Vinny's before a fight.
Can't eat
and he's like,
Vinny's?
not Vinny's. Get me OJ and chocolate bars. He's going through withdrawal, people.
Yeah. We get a nice little joke of Vinny closing out the episode, and I was very relieved to see that he pulls the mustache off because that thing was bothering me. Takes his glasses off. He doesn't need them. The help comes over.
That's his persona. Like, that's the cool version of Vinny.
You think the part you would act up would be your voice because it was awful, but no, he just puts on a mustache. You got to pay off. I mean, maybe he's trying to be in disguise because they are doing illegal fights on TV. So he's not too dumb after all.
You're right.
Okay.
Scott's just training, getting his ass handed to him. That's all it is.
They could have squeezed all this into a montage.
He does learn some katas, though. He does his katas.
They
look pretty tight.
This is true.
Like I said, Billy's going through the withdrawal. Wu shows up. How about a shot, Billy? No shot! Mm-hmm. So Wu goes to Yin. He's like, look, he's going to be fucking... He won't be ready to fight in 2 days without this juice. We got to do something about him. And Yin's like, I'll figure it out. Don't worry. So
they leave Milo and Billy there to sleep through the night and everything. And Milo, she's realizing she's got to do something. She's falling in love with Billy. She's got to take it upon herself. She's willing to die to help Billy. So she sneaks out into the streets of Chinatown, and she finds that midnight acupuncturist and drags him into the building. Apparently, there's no security guards here.
No, it's an honor system.
Yeah. If they're not careful, they're gonna have all kinds of. You're gonna have the clean cut kids there spray painting all over their shit, or maybe even some of the class of '84 kids in there graffitiing their arena with like OJ, stuff.
Well, wouldn't you have acupuncture? People say this acupuncture is the orange juice and chocolate bars of Chinese medicine.
Oh, okay.
And it works.
What would happen if you dip the needle in a little bit of orange juice and then
what
tap
do you think
it in?
He did. That's exactly what
That's
he did.
what he did? Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't notice the OJ.
So Billy's feeling fucking great. And Miley's like, my love, how are you doing? He's like, you're not my slave, right? And then he gives her a lesson in women's lib. It was like, he just tells us about Gloria Steinem and all this shit and Susan B. Anthony. And she's like, I've been off the boat for like a year. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And he's like, you're a good person. You don't need to be my slave. But I want you to be my slave at the same time.
I want... And so she tries to explain, Billy, I have a very strange past. I was bought.
Milo, I don't like you sleeping on the floor. You should have your own room.
It is my place to serve you.
Serve me? You're not my servant. You're my friend.
I can be a friend to no one. I was purchased as a servant a long time ago.
People don't buy people.
People can't buy people.
Oh, can't they? And then Yin just dun 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 right there, right at the moment. He's like, that woman there is a whore! A 12-year-old whore, to be exact. That's where I found her, in a whorehouse. That's all she'll ever be is a whore. Don't you know what a whore is, Billy?
Yes, and I know what a friend is, and I know what scum is. Walk.
Whoa. So I'm guessing he thinks Yin is scum.
I'm guessing that too. That's the spectrum. That's the Billy spectrum right here. Whore, friend, scum.
And Billy's like, I will protect you, Milo.
Their love is blossoming like a beautiful flower.
So Billy's Scott's training, and
Oh yeah.
and he's ready to go. So he needs his disguise, and it's an amazing disguise. People. Okay.
Oh boy. We thought Vinny's disguise was bad.
This is the scene that made me go like, Griff, we have to cover this movie. I don't know how we just let it go for so long. We did Cage 1 like 2 years ago.
We need to leave some of those gems out there for other people. But yeah, we're gonna get to it eventually.
Right. But I was like, oh my god. Okay. So Reb's like a fuck. He's Captain America. He's Aryan Superman, blonde haired, blue eyed. So he's got to like really go undercover. So he gets he goes to Halloween USA, gets a Steven Seagal Nang Chen wig.
But it has curled bangs
We
that
styles
hang
it a little.
over.
He wants it like real.
I mean, I'll give him this credit. If I were talking to him face to face, I would be staring at that hairpiece. I would not be able to notice his beautiful features.
And somehow he got a hold of Vinny's mustache. He got a gigantic fucking Groucho Marx mustache.
He does get the soul patch.
Soul patch. He got a soul patch.
A little soul patch.
And it's like, who the fuck is this guy? I have no idea.
Of course, by that you mean that Ogami and Sho laugh their asses off at him. They're constantly ribbing him. I love this because Reb is doing all this just for the love of his friend. He's not a good fighter anymore. He doesn't have the tone anymore. He's getting old. He's got fluffy hair. He's got to put on a silly disguise. He's getting just embarrassed by these fucking masters.
Most people couldn't wait to get Billy off their hands.
Yeah.
And he's just like, no, I'm going through
that
hell
could
and
have been
back.
his chance to move on with his life,
Right.
move a woman in with him, because he can go anywhere. He had a threesome lockdown in a second after mentioning the tortilla chips.
Right.
What the fuck? The silver tongue on this man,
Right, and Billy's constantly cock-blocking him with his nonsense. So who knows the last time Scott's been laid?
God, I heard some funny noises in your bedroom. Come out here and watch
Don't
wrestling.
hurt my friend!
Oh,
And then he
God,
kills
no.
the woman.
Oh, no.
He's like, Billy! Shit! I'm just fucking her.
Do you know what fucking is, Billy?
We gotta put her under the bridge!
Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, boy. Anyways, we got Yin. We're watching Billy do a little bit of a workout here. He's working the punching bag.
Fucking very daintily. He's
Very daintily.
tapping it.
Well, he doesn't want to explode it.
Okay.
It's too big.
I don't want to hurt his hands.
And then he walks over. Milo's also sitting there, just like she still doesn't have a chair or anything. She's sitting in the
not allowed to
corner.
have a chair yet.
Yin's got a beautiful
You're not
throne.
a slave, but you're not good enough for a chair.
Yin's got a beautiful throne. He's got his cane there and everything. He's got Dr. Wu coming in, feeding him grapes and everything. Milo finally pops out of the corner after Billy finishes the set. And he's done working the bag, and he's going to work those kegs. He gets a nice little firm grip in there, like a firm cantaloupe. Everything comes back to cantaloupe in this movie.
Good. So I guess Yin and Wu come to terms like we're not going to give him the juice anymore. Something's happened magically. He's doing okay.
Yeah, well, they have a new gimmick, and they turn and look at Milo, and she's just giggling while he flutters her armpits because he's a child. He doesn't know what to do with the woman, so he tickles her armpits. They're like, we got controlled. We have Milo.
That's it. That's their okay.
That's his new Hot Wheel.
And then I love how Wu's like, oh, by the way, his friend Scott? Yeah, he's in disguise. He's gonna get in the tournament.
What the fuck was that? Why did they work that line in there if they're going to do nothing with it? Spoiler alert, they do nothing with that information.
No.
They let him fight 9 fights throughout the tournament. They never stop him once.
Well, I guess they know how good Scott is as a fighter, so they're like, hey, maybe we can make money off of him.
Maybe. I don't know.
They're all about the Benjamins.
That's a good point. Oh.
So they're at the place where they register for the tournament.
That's right.
And Ogami's just fucking laughing his ass off at James Parker. That's his disguise from the Isle of Man.
Scott, again, doing this for his friend. He is uncomfortable as all hell. What if I get caught? Okay, I guess Yin does know him but he was the guy who helped him. He told Billy to stop murdering him. So you'd think he would have a little bit of compassion for Scott.
I don't know, but he's got a leather jacket, some black sweatpants, and it's like black tennis shoes, and a cummerbund for some reason. He's wearing a cummerbund.
Hey, that's what the Isle of Men people do.
That is what sets them apart. I like that. It's like a Scottish guy would have a kilt, guy from Isle of Man, cummerbund.
Yep. So in the back we've got Sho. He's helping Scott. He's getting his mind ready for a fight because Scott's already got a fight.
They need $50,000 just to get in the tournament.
I thought it was just a bet though. Wasn't it just a bet?
I don't know what. I thought it was like an entrance fee.
I couldn't
because he tells Scott that he's like shit.
Yeah,
and
give me
like, don't worry,
$50,000.
We have $50,000. Like he pulls it out of his ass.
Oh, okay.
Maybe they got the $50,000. I don't. Maybe he did a non-sanctioned fight, like a prelim fight, to make the $50,000.
Did some Lionheart fights. This is '94 after all. Same time, same place. Cynthia, I want to say it was the woman's name.
It was Cynthia.
He probably met up with Cynthia and did a couple fights for her.
Shit.
So
Sho is like, Scott, your first opponent. He's all kicks, no punching at all. Just get in, pressure him. Don't let him kick you. That's all you got to do.
Use your upper body strength. Also, you're 4 feet taller than him and 200 pounds heavier. So just elude the kicks. That's all you got to do. Don't kick him. Do not try to kick him.
Whatever you do, don't kick him. I've seen your fucking sweet stand kicks. They're fucking weak.
So we get this beautiful music that cuts in.
Dun, 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 dun.
Cage Cable Network event we've all been waiting for, our annual International Tournament of Champions. And for you newcomers to the Cage Cable Network, these fights are held within a locked cage. There are no rules, no weight divisions, and no referee, and the man left standing is the winner. Our first fight tonight is the Korean Taekwondo champion, Monsu Kim, versus the champion from the Isle of Man, James Parker.
Vinny does a nice job explaining the rules and introduces James, of course. That's Reb's character
from
now.
The Isle of Man. It's James Parker.
Very good job. Scott immediately goes up to his opponent and starts throwing kicks at him. And he pays dearly for it. Starts getting his ass kicked. Reb gets his ass handed to him in this movie.
Well, yeah, because what it is, this guy... Is this the kickboxer? I can't.
It's not the guy who kicked his thighs, is what they kept saying.
He's kicking his calves?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was so annoying. And even later when they went in the back, his calves are bruised to hell. And they're all... Vinny's just like, oh, his thigh... He's going to need his thighs replaced if he's going to continue in this tournament.
But somehow he figures out, oh, yeah, I'm supposed to punch the guy, not kick him. So
yeah.
He gets the guy up against a cage, just pummels him and beats him easily.
Yeah, exactly. We saw Billy do this earlier when he just used his strength, his size, and pushed the guy in the cage and murdered him. Clapped his ears and made his, brain spill out. And so that's what Billy realizes he can do. Because, again, they're fighting against...
Scott stumbles back to the locker room. They're giving him a rub down. They're fucking putting smelling salts underneath his nose for some reason.
Yeah, Ogami loved to do this. He kept grabbing a Q-tip with something on it. And
thought he had COVID. He's like checking him.
He just rubbed it on the outside of his nostrils. That's his. We were talking about the flicking and Ice Cube on the nips. This is how we got Scott concentrated. It was just rub a little Q-tip on his nostrils.
Get that coke residue.
Yeah.
So now Billy's up. He's going to fight a Russian tampon fighter. And I guess he's called tampon fighter because when he sees blood, he flips out and puts tampon up his nostrils because he gets punched by... What was that? That guy was really chewing the scenery because...
He was... Okay, he worked strong. He was getting his moves in on Billy at first, and then Billy reverses it, punches him in the face, starts bleeding profusely, and you're right.
He starts screaming and licking his... He was like licking his fingers.
They gave this guy 3 minutes to just lick his fingers, bleed, shake the cage,
Then he shoves some 2 tampons up his... He's a tampon fighter, they say that.
Yep.
Shoves them up his nostrils, and he's ready to go again.
Yeah. So he comes charging at Billy after we've had 3 minutes of just like him milking it.
Yeah, really.
Charges
Selling like him. He's the only person that sells in this entire movie.
Yeah, puts his head down, charges at Billy. Billy catches him like in a headlock kind of deal and adjusts his neck for him.
Yeah. And we want to point out, Billy is not taking that rage-inducing medicine anymore. He kills the guy as just Billy, the good guy we're supposed to think.
He realizes Yin is working him. He's trying to get away somehow with Milo, and yet he's still willing to murder. So you're right. Billy is a psychopath.
Right. But Milo loves it. Her man killed for her.
The cut over to Milo, and she's like, oh my God, I can't believe he did this. He's so amazing. What the? Milo's fucked up. I mean, okay, she's got a fucked up past.
Right.
So
Even
it makes...
a 12-year-old whore.
Yeah.
This is looking pretty good.
Yeah.
The life of the sociopathic brain damaged guy. The only thing he can do is fight.
So we go backstage where Scott's still getting that little rub down and everything. We see him progressively become more fucked up. Later on, we see him, he's all bruised up and everything.
I thought he was just wearing eye shadow.
Yeah, he did.
It's like, no, that's supposed to be bruises.
Bruises
like,
and shit.
Okay. Yeah, so like Muay Thai fighter's your next guy. So it's all kicks.
It's funny how that worked out.
And he's like, by the way, where's the Isle of Man? And he's like, well, it's in between like Ireland and like Great Britain or some shit.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. And he's like, shit. I didn't know that.
I love it because that show tells them, now that you know where it is, maybe you could represent their people like, with dignity instead of like a fucking klutz.
Put your cummerbund on properly, like a guy from the Isle of Man.
Tuck your pants back into your boots and fucking put your cummerbund on. Let's go. And adjust your wig. It's starting to turn sideways on you. Jean-Claude would never do that in Cyborg. His wig was always straight.
It's true. That's right. So Scott's second match of the day. And the kickboxer does what he's supposed to do. He starts kicking the calves, which you're supposed to do.
Yep.
And then Reb does what he's supposed to do. He starts blocking with his knees. So
okay.
they're actually doing some like real shit.
So you're happy to see this?
Yes, I was. They were exactly what a Muay Thai fighter would do.
We saw some terrible cage fighting just last night, and Murray had a lot to say about that.
Yeah, you
know,
pro wrestling should never do a fake cage fight.
Oh
it's
my
awful.
God! I mean, I could see the punches were shitty as shit, but yeah, the other things you were pointing out for me.
So Scott gets a few punches in, and they puts him in an armbar.
Yeah,
or Hurricane Run, like whatever, like Excalibur would yell out.
Oh yeah,
but no, it's just a fucking armbar. And then he like breaks the dude's neck.
Yeah, they get up and they separate for a second, and Scott pins him to the cage again, like puts his body in there and just like snaps it.
Question: are you supposed to kill your opponent, or it just happens?
I don't know. Vinny explains the rules. I popped in the audio at the beginning. I popped it in just a minute ago if I did my job correctly. So you can hear Vinny's rules and make it for yourself. I have no clue because they don't always murder the people. But when they do, it's like, you're supposed to be the good guy.
Yeah, Scott has no problem murdering either.
Like, he has complete tunnel vision. I've got to save my friend, and I will murder everybody until I do it. I don't remember if he had multiple fights in Cage 1. I think he just had one fight in Cage 1.
I think you're right.
Because he steps in. Billy gets too fucked up to fight the final match, so Billy steps in, or Scott steps in and fights the main villain and beats his ass. So that's all he did in the first one. But he did murder that guy. So he murders everybody, apparently.
And very nonchalant about it. He's like, hey, went in the cage. Do what a cage fighter does.
He probably saw Thunderdome. All right, so backstage, we got Yin's got a whole nother office now. It's a big, long hallway. We got Billy and Milo just sitting at one far end of it, and they're kind of looking over at Yin.
Conspiring with each other.
Yeah, and Billy's whispering something about, I should have killed him. So is he talking about Yin? We'll never know, but probably. And then he finally gets up and walks across the whole hallway and sits down with Yin, and he's demanding money.
He's no longer brain damaged. He's like, I want bigger cut.
Yeah.
We can work on that, Billy.
Yeah. I want 10%. Billy, you don't know your numbers yet. Do you know what 10% means? I'll give you 1%.
No, he goes, I'll give you 15. No, I want 10. Don't try to fool me.
Try to fool him.
And he's still brain damaged, people.
Yeah.
You know, he's a very cocky brain damaged guy.
He does look back over to Milo, and Milo's like nodding, like, you're doing a good job. Keep it up.
Doing a good job, babe. And he's all smugly walks back to Milo. I got 10%. That idiot.
And then we cut out of this scene with just, they're supposed to be looking in the direction of Yin, but they both look over their shoulders in Yin's direction, which is now the camera's focal point. And they're just making nasty faces. They're going to get Yin. They're going to get out of here together.
Right.
Because he bought her.
He bought her?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh, no, I'm saying that's why they're going to get out of there, because
okay.
he's getting revenge because they bought her. And you can't buy people.
You can't.
That's what scum does.
Yeah. That's what. I'm glad we're saying this on Juneteenth. You can't buy people.
How did that work out? We're talking about... Oh, man.
So, we're backstage with Scott, and he's getting the rub down. He's getting the Q-tip.
Getting a little deja
swab.
vu feeling here. This movie is constantly going back to Scott
And,
rub-downs.
like, shows like, the next fight's got to be Billy. It's got to be. Who else can you fight? So, that's what... Scott's excited. He's like, I won't get my ass beat anymore. I'm gonna snap him out of it, and we're gonna get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Well, they're like, all right, well, have a good time in there with Billy. We're gonna go start a distraction.
We're just gonna start a fire.
Yeah. And Showa Ogami.
How about we just call our backup? We come in here, we do a raid, and we just bust everybody.
They point out that when the big match goes off, they're going to have the police there. They've already got the police surrounded, but for some reason, they're going to wait for the final fight.
Because Sho has a bet, I bet. He's like, I got a bet on you guys.
That might be it. That could be it.
And we don't want to ruin. People paid $50 for this pay-per-view. We don't want to ruin their shit.
That's a good point too. Got to give the viewers what they want.
So I think Cage Cable Network has some lobbyists in Washington.
Oh, that's a good
So it was like,
call.
we got to get the pay-per-view done, then we bust everybody.
So Billy's going out there, or Scott's going to go out and wrestle his match, fight his match, and he's all excited. He thinks he's going to get Billy. No, it's the great one.
Wayne Gretzky?
No, it's not Wayne Gretzky. But this guy is a knockoff of Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yes, they're very much trying to give you the illusion. They wouldn't even show his face.
Yeah. They showed kind of short but spiky gelled hair.
Right.
No shirt, like big karate gi pants on. He does the splits. They do a shot of his butt, but you can't see anything because, no one's got Jean-Claude's
Can't
ass.
see the gluteal crevice at all. His butthole, we don't know if it's warmed up at all. I'm assuming if you do the splits, it's very warm.
I don't know. Chinatown, from what I've seen, has no bridges, so there's nowhere to warm up your butthole.
That's the tragedy of living in Chinatown. Coldest buttholes in the world.
He's got no intel on how to fight the Great One.
Doesn't. Because he didn't think he was going to fight him.
Exactly. And Sho and Ogami are starting fighters. So.
But as we know, you know what the first thing you're going to get from a JCVD or a JCVD clone. Tippy-tap kicks. And he lets off some barrage of sweet, pretty little tippy-taps.
Well, and, Scott pulls his very finest Eric Sloan and just takes them all and is like, cut that bitch up. Just had a fuck stroke. I don't know what just happened there. I just got tippy-tapped. He fucking slaps him away and says, stop that. Please. Let's fight like men.
Well, that's going on. Ogami and Sho, they just go to some back room, like an office, set a fire.
Well, yeah,
they just put some paper in a trash can, set it on fire.
Ogami sneaks up on Sho and surprises him, and Sho says, stop that. Does Sho have a Texas accent? He has an accent, right?
It was something weird.
It was something weird. Okay. That was where I was like, who the fuck was that? Because the accent was throwing me off. Anyways, we cut back. Scott's just finishing off JCV Lame. He's just killing him now.
Right. That's every fight. The heroes take some punches, and then they just pummel his shit out. There's no, real back and forth.
For real. And then he fucking hits him with that big he's got him down on the ground and gives him the Rudy Ray rub out. Loved it. Reb's got a good touch to him.
You think he killed this guy too? Snapped his neck? A lot of neck snapping going on from our heroes.
I do love that after this fight, we see Reb take 2 steps, and then he keels over and is taking large lungfuls of oxygen.
He's like got an oxygen mask. He's like, shit, I don't know if I can fight anymore.
I'm so out of breath.
The show's like, don't worry, there's a fire started. The next fight's got to be.
They're so nonchalant. They're just back. They're rubbing him down. They got the Q-tip in the nose again. And they're like, hey, it's okay. We started the fire. Don't. And he's like, well, what's going on with the fire? How do you know how far the fire's progressed? What is this?
Don't worry about it. Shh. Puts his fucking finger up to his head. Shh.
It's microwave timing, baby.
Microwave time.
I was in the Navy SEALs for a week for microwave training. That's all I know.
So this has to be the last fight. Even though I think Reb's fought more times than Lou has.
From what we can tell.
I guess he got a bye. Or
he gets
like
a bye.
That.
He's the local champ, so it makes sense.
So yeah, it's the Isle of Man versus the man who's the size of an island. And before this fight starts, we get this little back and forth between Vinny and Ogami, where Ogami's like fucking with Vinny all the time.
This has been an ongoing bit that we have decided not to pepper in a dozen times. But yeah, Ogami likes to walk up behind Vinny and just poke him and stand there. Because Ogami doesn't talk.
He just does all these shit like your little brother would, or your big brother would do to you.
Yeah, I think he took like his little gong stick.
He did it. He's fucking with Vinny.
Just loved it. And Vinny, stop that.
So all right, it's Scott and Billy. They're in the cage.
Scott's immediately calling out, Billy! It's me! It's Scott! Scott has blonde hair. Beautiful, puffy blonde hair.
Scott. And he puts him in a bear hug, pins him against the cage.
Yeah, there's an exchange first. There's a punch. It's more like a slap. You know what? Here, I'll plug in some of this audio. You decide what the fuck these noises are. But there's like a slap and a punch, and then there's a moment where he pins him. And we're like, well, he's dead. We saw what he did to Yin, a tiny 50-year-old Asian man. So he's clearly going to kill Reb, who is a man's man. Big puffy chest, he's
Billy!
Captain America.
Billy! It's me, Scott! And he's like, no, you're not. Scott's blonde. And then Show goes, oh, I got it. Yoink! Pulls off the Steven Seagal wig. Scott! What the fuck? Where you been?
Oh, man. And they have this beautiful line. Hey, you hurt me. Well, you did me no favors either. They put bad makeup on him. It looks like he's got 2 giant black eyes.
Where the blue stuff, Scott? And I don't have it. Shit, I forgot it.
Oh, it's so... Okay, the fire has gone out of control. People are running out of the building.
This is where Griff alluded in the beginning of the episode. We get a lot of those bad fucking canned screams. And they're just playing the same 5 screams over and over again.
It's so bad. Oh, my God.
People are fucking dropping their money. They're just fucking... They want to get the fuck out of this place.
So we got Scott, who, is like, I'm going to get the fuck out of here. Billy's like, I got to go get Milo. So I believe our next shot we see... Oh, you know what? We get a little allude to what Yin's getting up to.
Right.
And we got Dr. Wu. I set that up poorly. We got Dr. Wu putting all the money, the winnings of tonight.
Got a cachet case open.
Yeah, he's loading it all up. He's trying to fit in some of the decorations around.
Looks to be about $10,000. It's not a lot.
It's not a lot of money, no.
And Yin's like, going somewhere, Wu. I was just getting ready for you.
I was just warming it up. I know how you like warmed up things, so I was warming up the briefcase.
So Yin comes in with his henchman, Jin, and like, I don't believe you. And he pulls out, he's got a sword in his cane. Is that what it was? And then he just does the old thing where you're a little kid and you pretend you stab somebody, just puts it underneath his Wu's armpit. It's really bad.
10 to 25 seconds of Wu acting stabbed.
He just smashes a tomato on his side to make it look like blood, and then he dies.
Keels over, dead. And we see Billy running around. He's popped the shirt on, so he's looking good now, and runs in the back. It just happens to be the same back portion of the building that Yin has walked into, but he's got his gun out and ready.
Right. So there's a standoff. And then, so you figure Yin's just going to shoot Billy. And then Milo, she's like a side door. She opens her. She doesn't notice Yin at all. It's like,
No.
Billy runs to him. Just so happens, that's when Yin shoots, trying to shoot Billy.
Yeah.
Shoots Milo.
Look like right in the small part of your back spine area.
Yes, you know her kidney's ruptured.
That's exactly what I was thinking, Murray.
And she collapses, and then Yin hobbles away because she's a fucking cripple.
Of course. And you get that beautiful moment where Milo is just touching Billy's face. Billy, I love you.
And Billy, no emotion at all.
Nope.
Doesn't sell it. He's like,
Just drops her on her
he's
head.
like, who's going to take care of me now? That's basically all he's thinking.
So Scott and Ogami and show up, and he hands Milo to Scott. And
Yeah, he's like, can you take care of this trash? There's a dumpster out back. Can you take care of the Scott?
There's a dead body compactor out back. Can you just go
because
deal
you
with
used to
that?
take care of Mike.
Take care of me.
Billy's probably killed I don't know how many like whores and his whores. I'm using air quotes. Women that Scott just takes care of because he feels guilty about Nam. So he's like, sure, Billy, I'm used to it.
So we join Billy running after Yin, and we got Ogami fighting people. He's just random people. No, we don't need to see this, but
Well, he has
they
like
want...
a standoff with Jin, and then a bunch of goons come out of nowhere.
Yeah, they were gonna go 1-on-1.
Right.
And he puts his staff down, but then all the goons come out, so he picks his staff back up and beats their ass.
Jin gets away, but all his goons get taken out.
Right. And,
So Billy finally corners Yin again. And then fucking Yin's got his gun out and just fucking shoots Billy. I think he shoots him in the back first, doesn't he?
he shoots him in the back a couple times, and then he shoots him in the front a couple times. It's all right through the shoulder. Same bullet hole each time. It's amazing. It's like a pool trick shot with bullets. Some kind of archery shit that he's pulling off here. Because Billy was distracted by Jin. I believe it was Jin.
Yes,
Because Jin finally admits, hey, you know that guy who shot you with the tranquilizer dart earlier in the movie? You remember in the warehouse? That was me. You were drinking the blue stuff? And then you threw it all away and spit it all over the floor? It was me. So, yeah, Billy was distracted. Very distracted.
Yeah, so Billy takes Jin out. He's distracted. While that's going on, Yin takes the opportunity to shoot him.
Yeah, 4 times.
4 times.
All in the same spot.
He's a crack shot.
But he's wearing this white T-shirt, and there's a reason they put a white T-shirt on him, because they just smear blood all over it, and it really pops, because white and red, red on white pops.
What's going on? Scott finally gets Milo out of the warehouse. FBI finally shows up, Interpol, whoever the fuck shows up.
This scene, oh my God. So we still have people running out of the building in their tuxedos and everything. They're letting their wives fall over, girlfriends, mistresses, because they're all wearing heels, so they're tripping over themselves and everything. They're leaving them. There's people behind them from the triad running out to shoot at the FBI who are shooting in. With all this happening, somehow Scott is avoiding the bullets with Milo in his arms, finds a mulleted EMT guy and says, fix her. Shit!
He's like, I can do that.
Yeah. EMT's like, oh yeah, I've seen this kind of thing before. It just went through her kidney. It's no big deal.
Yeah, he just puts his finger in and closes it up like the Dutch boy.
Yeah.
No more blood.
Yeah, pop a kidney bean in there. It's okay.
He looks at the other side, sees it went through, and says, she'll live. Don't worry about it.
This is a hot piece of ass. Is she taken? I'm pretty sure my friend Billy's got dibs on this one.
And he's like, shit, I got to get back in there. And so, yeah, then the goons, like something out of like fucking Night of the Living Dead, the goons just filter out. It's like a video game. They're waiting to get shot by the cops.
I know, and we get 3 minutes. Okay, this movie feels very slow because of scenes like this. Like, it could have been a lot crisper.
Yeah, this could have been a 90-minute.
Oh, yeah.
It was an hour 48.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the goons are... And then finally, some fat goon's like, why am I getting shot? He just puts his gun down, puts his hands up, and goes, oh, just arrest me.
Ogami, he's in there. He's trying to find Yin. Scott's going in for Billy. He runs into Jin and starts fighting with him. And this is
like the third fight Jin's had in the past 5 minutes.
Yeah. And this is where we get some interesting, fight and camera work happening. They found another weird back area. There's like some fences happening.
Dark.
And just like Class of 1984, there's just ropes hanging everywhere. And then there just happens to be a noose.
Yes, and they let you know because they put it right in the foreground.
They keep doing this shot where they're moving around them fighting, and they slowly go through the hoop of the noose.
It's literally a noose.
It's
not
literally.
even just like a rope.
We're
like
not
with
fucking
a,
around.
With a loop on it. It's a noose.
And Jin is throwing all kinds of shit at Scott. He's probably seen Scott fight and sees that he's shit. And so he keeps telling him, if you don't use it, you lose it, old man. And they're throwing all kinds of one-liners at each other. They weren't worth keeping track of because this movie doesn't do one-liners very well.
Well, Scott goes, you don't use it, you lose it, and I got it back. And then he starts handling Jin, and then puts the noose around his neck, and then it was like tied to something. I don't know what this noose contraption was. It was like some kind of like trap thing, like the trap that gets your foot, because once he undoes the other side of the rope, he goes fucking flying up and hangs himself.
Snare trap is what you're thinking of. Yeah, it was like a snare trap that he put it, instead of it being on the ground, it was hanging up. Oh my god.
That's for Billy, asshole!
That's for Billy, asshole.
And then he just fucking goes back outside.
Because Jin told him, they're both fucking gullible about their friend being dead. He doesn't need to go find Billy. He never sees fire. Never even sees smoke. Yeah. So you think he would keep looking. But no, Jin, this guy I had to murder, told me he's dead.
You got to be pretty naive if a brain damaged guy's using you for the past 30 years. So he's just like, who is the brain damaged guy to begin with?
This is a good point. The third
guy is so trusting. He's like, well, this guy tried to murder me, just told me my friend's dead.
So, of course... I mean, we're going to... Look, Merman Productions has the rights for Cage 3, and yes, we are working on the script, and we're going to be going into these territories of who is using who. Who is the parasite in this friendship? And I think you know which way we're leaning.
Scott goes outside, sees Mila's okay, assumes Billy's dead. He accepts it. He got over it. He went through all the stages of grief in like 2 seconds.
I thought he was thinking like, well, my friend's dead, but his girlfriend's still alive, so I got to take up his mantle and fuck her now. And we know about Scott's sweet tongue. I mean, talking, but also I hear it does other things too.
I saw there was a dog bed in his apartment, too, so Mila will be all right.
She's going to be right at home there.
So I also want to point this out. Okay, so Yin, we forgot to mention, Yin had a helicopter coming to take him away.
Okay.
All right, so this guy probably was just hired. He probably just has a helicopter business. He just has no idea who Yin is. Just a regular guy has a chopper business.
Yeah.
They just assume, hey, that must be Yin must be up there.
Because Ogami's outside with Sho, and Scott comes out, where's Yin? And Ogami, because he doesn't talk, points at the helicopter. So that's how we are supposed to know, like, oh yeah, he's up there. And Murray, the greatest. This ending's already been crazy enough. We're not doing it enough justice. Watch Cage 2. I don't know how you're going to do it. Watch Cage 2 to see all this crazy shit happening. But we're about to get one of the greatest endings ever.
A canon ending.
This is a canon ending.
No pun intended.
So I want you to do this beautiful reveal for us. Ogami's been lugging this bag. He won't let anyone touch it for the whole movie.
Because he's got a fucking bazooka in the bag. So he pulls it out. Doesn't even care about the people below this chopper. Who knows where this is going to land? He just shoots the fucking chopper out of the sky. Once again, this guy could have no idea what Yin's background is. He's just
he was confused. We actually get a shot of him up there. Mr. Yin, I'm coming in for a landing.
Where's the helipad? Then he goes, and then
he goes, uh-oh. And then
Was Vinny the helicopter pilot?
It might have been. Just without the mustache.
And then Sky goes, got that son of a bitch!
All right, and just when you think credits are going to roll and he's going to kiss Milo, no.
I was thinking fucking Billy was going to come out and be like, okay.
I thought so, too. But we just see this double door, fog's rolling. Well, I guess it's supposed to be smoke because of fire. Smoke's flowing out, and then you just see a cane plant itself, and a little contraption, and you hear, like, Tin Man noises. Oh, shit. Yin is still alive.
Right.
And then, because we're not done yet, we cut over to Billy lying down, and the camera's on the ground with him, and Billy looks up at the camera.
It's like a duality of the last movie, where Yin's body started moving when we thought it was dead.
Yeah. So we close out with Billy getting up.
Then the credits roll, and you're like, what? What the fuck? And I want to point out, the credits, they have the cast, the very first credit is Sexy Lady number 1.
I know. When I was looking at IMDb, I was like, what the fuck is with the... It's in order of the movie. It's exactly what they did. So
who is Sexy Lady number 1 is what I want to know.
I don't even remember.
Was it one of the bathing women? Was it one of the girls in the supermarket?
Maybe.
Was it the woman with a baby that you said was in the supermarket? She's Sexy Lady number 1.
Interesting. Maybe it was one of the two girls. Maybe they just combined them and made them one.
Know.
Maybe it was actually one person, and they somehow did. Anyways, just great movie. But oh my god, they could have cleaned it up.
Yeah,
it's
always good to see Reb.
It's always good to see Reb. I love him in Disguise. If you were to watch any portion of this movie, watch the later half when he's in Disguise. You can just cut out the front half.
Yeah.
You should watch it all, but if you were going to...
If you're strapped for time.
If you're strapped for time, you just want 40 minutes of Reb Brown, second half.
All right. So, next week, Griff. Did I ever tell you what I majored in college, Griff?
We don't talk about education because, we like to pretend we're on equal levels.
Well, I minored in microwave sciences.
Oh, shit. I thought that was only Navy SEALs.
No, you can get that to class.
Oh, shit. Okay.
But I majored in kickboxing. And that's why next week we're going to do the movie College Kickboxer.
That sounds great.
It is great. It's got the star looks like kind of Reb-ish and a little Cody Rhodes thrown in there.
Mm-hmm.
I would say it's on the level of No Retreat, No Surrender, that kind of budget, that kind of acting. The people in the movie obviously never acted in a movie ever again.
Oh, so much like this week.
Early 90s, a lot of mullets, a lot of Zubas, a lot of kickboxing.
Ooh, getting Sandman vibes.
Yeah, nobody pounds a fucking beer against their head. I don't think so. It's been a while since I've seen it. It's on Tubi if you guys want to watch it, and I recommend you do. So check it out next week, College Kickboxer.
Make sure to go back, if you haven't already, listen to that beautiful tippy tap we did on 21 Jump Street.
Jump Street, the horrors of punk rock.
First time I've ever watched 21 Jump Street. I gotta say, it was a good idea for a show. Just the premise alone. Good show.
Well, make sure you go. First of all, you should have listened to it already, but if you haven't, go listen to it and keep it warm.